Oh. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya-madhyamām Asmadacharya-paryantām Vande Guru-paraṁparām Shruti-smriti-purāణānaṁ Ālayam Karuణālayam Namāmi Bhagavat-pāda Shankaram Loka-shankaram Samasta-jana-kalyāne Niratam Karunāmayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniം Bhagavatim Ashtadashadyayiniം Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Tunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayanti Yam Samagaः Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidussura Suraganaः Devaya Tasmai Namaha Yatasmai Namaha. Hari. There are 4 stages a seeker has to go through to successfully gain the spiritual knowledge. Every spiritual aspirant has to go through these 4 stages. The first stage is the discovery of the problem of samsara. That problem of samsara consists of raga, attachment, shoka, grief, and moha, delusion. One has to go through all 3 of them. And then the second stage is for the seeker to recognize that he cannot solve this problem all by himself or herself. A recognition of helplessness. Then, once you recognize I can't do it myself, then I will seek help. So the third step is to surrender to someone who can help. So surrender, saranagati, sharanagati. In the case of a spiritual aspirant, he or she has to take the help of a guru, spiritual guru. Then the Guru gives him the knowledge and the means to gain, to abide in that knowledge. And when that happens, the spiritual journey ends. And as we have seen in the first chapter, Arjuna went through the first stage only. That's what we have seen. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Only discovered that he has a problem. Then, in the last class, when we started the second chapter, slowly he progresses to the second stage. And we had seen in the sixth verse, Nachait Nachaitat vidmah kataranno gariyah yadva jayema yadi vano jayeyuhu yaneva hatva najijivishamah Devastita Pramukhe Dhardarashtra. So Arjuna was thinking, and he said, I am not objective enough to analyze this situation. Too much involved in this. The mind has lost its subjectivity. I cannot decide. So he continues and says, verse 7, let us read. Karpanya-doshopahata svabhavah Karpanya-doshopahata svabhavah Prachami tvam dharma sammudachetah Prachami tvam chetah Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam Karpanya-doshopahata svabhavah Prachami tvam dharma sammudachetah Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Another famous verse quite often quoted. And what happens in this verse, very important. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is not satisfied with Arjuna's loose confession. He said, I'm not able to handle it myself, confused and all that. But then Bhagavan wants him to openly admit, very clearly, very explicitly, why do you feel bad to accept your ignorance? Human beings are born ignorant. Every one of us have been born ignorant. Ignorant is not a sin. We are all born ignorant only. We are ignorant of everything when we were born. We're not talking about this knowledge of the self and all that. That is also there. But we don't know anything. Little by little, mother teaches, father teaches, then we go to school, the teacher teaches, so many things. All those things that they teach us, we didn't know that before. There is no need to feel bad to admit that we are ignorant. We shouldn't be ashamed to admit our ignorance. But perpetuation of that ignorance leads to problems, to sins. Therefore, we should be honest enough to accept that I don't know and try to seek a remedy for that. So finally, Arjuna opens his heart and mind out. Then says, Karpanya dosha upahat swabhava. My swabhava, my innermost mind, my intellect is upahata that has been rendered not functional, is defunct, not working, incapacitated. Intellect is not working. The function of the intellect is viveka, discrimination, ability to analyze things, evaluate things, come to a decision. That's what the intellect is supposed to do. But confronted with this situation, I'm not able to do that. At this juncture, my intellect is clouded, shrouded by delusion. I'm not able to think. Upahatah, hijacked. By what? Karpanya dosha. The dosha, the problem, the defect of that intellect is karpanya, helplessness, misery, wretchedness. I feel wretched. I'm confused. My intellect is not able to think because it is afflicted with all these problems. And the confusion is with regard to dharma sammuda chetah. Confusion regarding dharma. What is dharma? What is adharma? I can't figure out in my mind. On one hand, Dharma Shastra says, do not hurt anyone or anything. Violence is a no. Ahimsa paramo dharma. You should not hurt anyone. Physically, verbally, mentally. Non-violence is a primary dharma. But here, in this battle, in this war, I'm going to be killing. Not killing anybody, my own relatives. And some of them are elders, my teachers. They are all worthy of utmost respect. On one hand, I should not kill them. However, who am I dealing with here? Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe. Do you remember from the first chapter? Verse 23, I told you, remember at that time? They'll show up later. These people are the embodiment of unrighteousness. Durbuddhi, application of that. They're all in front of me. Bhishma and Drona also have joined them. So I have to take action. I have to fight. Therefore, I have this Dharma Sankatam. Dharma Sammuda Chetah. Confused with regard to the right course of action. What should I do now? I can't decide. Therefore, Prichami. I ask you. Finally, Arjuna comes out and says, I am asking you. You please tell me. Yat Shreyah Syat. Tat me bruhi. Yat Shreyah Syat. What is good for me? Tat me bruhi. That you tell me. I can't figure it out. What's good or what is not good for me. I don't know. You decide the right course of action and don't say, this may be good, that may be good. I will lay out all the options for you. No, I don't want all that. Nishchitam Shreyah, with certainty. Definitely this is good for you. You just do it. You tell me. Not only that, I am opening my mind. Aham te shishya. I am your disciple. This verse is a crucial verse in the introductory portion. Here, Arjuna, the soldier, is being converted, is being transformed into Arjuna, the disciple. Role has changed. So he says, Aham Shishyaha. I am not the master under whom you are the driver. Now, your role has changed, my role has changed. You are the teacher, I am the student. The one who is a fit receptacle for teaching is called a Shishya. And what is the Yogyata, the qualification for a student? First, he should be open-minded. If you come to the class saying, I've already studied Gita 20 times, now let me see if the teacher is telling everything correctly. That kind of an attitude you have, that doesn't make for a good student. Student must come with an open mind to learn. Keep all your preconceived notions and conclusions outside. At the time of listening, an openness must be there. So that kind of open-mindedness is called Shishyatvam, the attitude of being a student. This is the Yogyata, qualification for a student. Arjuna says here, Aham te Shishyaha, I am your disciple. Shadimam, teach me. Tvam prapannam, I surrender to you. So after discovering his problem and recognizing his helplessness, he has come to the third stage, surrender, sharanagati. Arjuna does that here, tvam prapannam. I seek refuge in you. When I say I am a disciple, I surrender to you. What should the other person become? Automatically, the other person becomes a guru. Arjuna specifically asks for Shadi. Instruct me. Teach me. Give me the knowledge. Please remove my ignorance. To such a student, what should Bhagwan do? Bhagwan Sri Krishna is happy. He has just been many years. For decades they were together. This is the opportunity that he was looking for. Arjuna still continues. Let's read verse 8. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat. Yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam. Yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam. Avapya bhuma vasapatnamriddham. Avapya bhuma vasapatnamriddham. Rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. Rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat. Yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam. Avapya bhuma vasapatnamriddham. Rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. So Arjuna confesses that his grief, sorrow is so deep, so intense, that any of the local solutions, do-it-yourself solutions that he was thinking of did not really work. We may have so many temporary worldly solutions, treating the symptoms. but they cannot uproot the problem. The very root of the problem, you have to get rid of. Therefore, Arjuna says here, Yachokam Indriyanam Uchoshanam. My grief is so intense that it weakens, it dries up all my organs. Not only the external organs, the internal instruments also. It's weakening my thinking faculty. Sorrow is so deep. I cannot take up some gimmick, escapism, and forget the problem. So he says, Mama na apanudyat. This grief is, I don't see any other solution other than your teaching. Even if I try to escape, the problem will come back and haunt me again. Problem will not go away. Avapya bhumau asapadnam ruddham rajyam. I may choose to fight this war. I may win this war also. I will kill all these people. And I may become the emperor. I may get this kingdom. Asapatnam and Ruddham Rajyam, unrivaled and prosperous kingdom I will get. But Arjuna indicates wealth and prosperity cannot remove my sorrow. As they say, money can buy bed, but it cannot buy sleep. Money can buy food, but it cannot buy appetite. Arjuna says here the grief cannot be solved by winning this war and getting the kingdom back. Not only this kingdom, not only this world, but Suranam cha Adipadyam api. Even if I am going to become Indra, the ruler of the gods, I don't think that will solve my problem. Problem of samsara cannot be solved by worldly accomplishments. This is the essence of this verse. So every human being should discover this fact that human problems cannot be solved by worldly accomplishments, cannot be solved by material prosperity. Therefore, one has to go and seek. Then what happened? Listen to Sanjaya. Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Muktva Rishikesham Eva Muktva Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah Gudakeshah Parantapah Nayotsya iti Govindam Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva tushnim babhuvah Uktva tushnim babhuvah Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Muktva Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva tushnim babhuvah. So Parantapah Gudakeshah Evam Muktva. Evam Muktva, in this way, in this manner, in so many distinct words, Arjuna surrendered to Bhagwan Sri Krishna. I am your disciple. Please teach me. So then the Gita can begin now. O Parantapah, the destroyer of enemies, Arjuna, Gudakeshah. So Sanjaya indirectly says that Arjuna is a qualified student. Now, Gudaka means sleep. And sleep represents Tamoguna. Sleep represents Tamoguna. Therefore, Gudakeshaha, Gudaka Ishaha, one who has the Tamoguna. So this is one of the prerequisites for a qualified student. He cannot be lazy. His mind should be able to receive the teaching, should be able to receive the knowledge. The human intellect generally goes to two extremes. Either it is restless, wandering all overexcited to do something, learn something, overexcited. Wants to learn something, but you cannot learn anything. Very rajasic in nature. Or the other thing that happens is it goes to sleep. So for a successful learning process, a quiet mind and intellect, a sattvic mind is required. The rajas and tamas doesn't have. A sattvic mind is a must for proper learning. A wakeful, non-extrovert mind, such a mind is ready for acquisition of knowledge. So Sanjaya indirectly says Arjuna is a fit student by calling him Gudaka Ishaha, Gudakeshaha. Then Arjuna said these words to Rishikesha, Lord Krishna, the Lord of all senses and mind. So that means the one who knows the mental condition of Arjuna, he knows. Bhagavan knows. So he knows how to tackle Arjuna's problems. Arjuna said, Nayotsya iti Govindam. I'm not going to fight this war, he told Bhagavan. Why? I don't know whether fighting is right or wrong. At the same time, I'm not going to run away from this battle. I'm not sure if running away from this battle is right or wrong either. I'm not going to do either of these. I want to hear from you and thereafter decide properly. And after giving the teaching elaborately, in the 18th chapter, Bhagavan will ask Arjuna, did you listen? Did your delusion go away? I don't want to make a decision for you. You must be able to decide for yourself. It should be your decision. You must own up to your decision. I don't want to make a decision for you. I want you to be independent. Fortunately, Arjuna says, we'll see. The 18th chapter, few years from now, we will see. Arjuna will say, I got it. My delusion is gone. And I will do as you bid. Right now, Arjuna is saying, I don't know what to do. So teach me so that I can make the right decision. So after saying these words, Uktva, saying this, he surrenders to Bhagavan. And Tushnim Babhuva, he became silent. Word her indicates the change of scene. The noisy battlefield is now become a quiet classroom where the Jagat Guru will impart the spiritual knowledge to this fit student. and over the shoulders of Arjuna, we can also eavesdrop. He is teaching the entire humanity. Then what happened? Tamuvacha Rishikeshah. Tamuvacha Rishikeshah. Prahasanniva Bharata. Prahasanniva Bharata. Senayorubhayormadhye. Senayorubhayormadhye. Vishidandamidam vachah. विषीदन्तमिदं वचः तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः. So Sanjaya continues, Hey Bharata. Bharata refers to Dhritarashtra. To Dhritarashtra only. And he has also come in the same dynasty, Bharata Vamsha. So he is also a Bharata. He says, Hey Bharata, Rishikesha, Lord Sri Krishna, Tam Uvacha, said to him, whom? Arjuna. Told Arjuna, Vishidandam, he was despondent. Arjuna was despondent. What did he teach? Idam Vachaha means Idam Gita. This Gita taught him. Here Vachaha represents the entire teaching. And that begins from the next verse, from the 11th verse. It begins, the actual begins from the 11th verse of the second chapter. Continues to the 66th verse of the 18th chapter. A very famous verse. When we get to that, we will see. So, this is the Bhagavad Gita, Idam Gita, this Gita. He gave this teaching. Where did he give this teaching? Senayoho ubayoho madhye. In between the two armies. You know the setting. We have described that. As he, it looked as if Bhagwan was smiling. Bhagwan really loved Arjuna. In Gita itself, we will see how many times he says, Arjuna, you are so dear to me. He was smiling because finally Arjuna surrendered to me. He wants to learn something more than other things that he had learned. He had learned archery, warfare, governance of kingdom, and so on and so forth. But he is ready for Atma Vidya now. He wanted to give this great knowledge to him all along. Arjuna was not ready. But now he is. Arjuna has already expressed his helplessness and surrendered to Bhagavan. He has requested him to teach. And Bhagavan accepts Arjuna as his disciple and decides to teach him. This starts from the 11th verse. From here on, Partha he is not the driver to Partha Arjuna. Now he has become Gita-charya, the Acharya who is going to teach the Bhagavad Gita. He is not only Arjuna's Guru, he is Jagat Guru. So now we enter the actual teaching. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyan anvashocastvam. Ashocyan anvashocastvam. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. Gatasun agatasunschа. Gatasun agatasunschа. Nanushochandi panditah. Nanushochanti panditah. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Ashocyan anvashocastvam. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. Gatasun agatasunschа. Nanushochanti panditah. This is a very important verse. In this verse, Bhagavan condenses the entire Gita Shastra. And the rest of the Bhagavad Gita is an elaboration. So what is Bhagavad Gita? If somebody were to ask you, we can say that this verse contains the essence of the whole teaching. The essence, to put it very simply, ignorance is the cause of all human problems. The ignorance here refers to self-ignorance. The ignorance of the self is the cause of all human problems. Hence, self-knowledge is the only solution for all human problems. This is the Gita Sara, the essence of the Gita. This alone, Bhagavan will elaborate throughout the entire Gita. That is why, at the end of each chapter, a concluding statement states that Gita is Brahma Vidya. We saw that when we finished the first chapter. Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is the central theme of Bhagavad Gita. No doubt, many other topics are covered, discussed in the Gita. Karma Yoga, Upasana, Japa, Puja, Dhyana. So many other topics. All of them will be talked about. But they are all in support of the central theme, Brahma Vidya. He presents this idea beautifully here. Look at the second line, last statement. Panditaha na anushochanti. Beautiful sentence. That means Panditaha, the wise people, not grieve. The wise do not grieve. With regard to what? Not regarding any other thing, but with regard to oneself. So the wise people means people of self-knowledge. And the wise, na anushochanti, do not grieve at all. Not that the wise have a stone heart or anything like that. They do have emotions. But they do not anushochanti. Keep on crying, weeping on and on. So if wise people do not grieve, those who grieve are otherwise. That's all. Arjuna is profusely grieving. So at this stage, Arjuna is not very wise. Arjuna is ignorant, and that is the reason for his grief. So through Arjuna, Bhagavan is telling the entire humanity, get the self-knowledge and put an end to all your problems. Wise people do not grieve. With regard to whom? Gatasun, agatasunch. They do not grieve for gatasun, the dead. Those who are gone. Gata. There are not grief for them. Agatasu, those who have not gone yet. Agata. The living ones also. There are only two possibilities. We worry about the people who are living or who are dead and gone. All these worries are with respect to only these two types. Not only people, but with regard to things and other beings also. So we worry about things that are gone or those things that are not yet gone. So if we take care of these two things, it's nothing to worry. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna enumerates these two. So gatasun means things that are gone, that is the past. And agatasun means that which has not gone, meaning the present or the future. Either with regard to the past or the present or the future, the wise do not grieve. Now, what about poor Arjuna? Ashoch, Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, Arjuna grieves for the people who do not deserve any grief. Ashochya means those who do not deserve any grief or sympathy. You are feeling sorry for them. So Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, you are grieving for those who do not deserve any grief. At the same time, Prajnavadamscha bhashase. You are talking as if you are a wise person. You're just pretending to be wise. And he gave us a wonderful display in the first chapter. You present yourself as a wise person by talking about Kulakshaya, Kuladharma, Varna Sankara, and all those problems elaborately. So what you really need is Atma Jnana. That's what you need. In the previous verse, Bhagwan had condensed the Gita Shastra, and now hereafter, what is Bhagwan's ultimate aim? He wants to pursue. He wants to convince Arjuna that he should fight this war. The immediate problem is he wants to run away, and he has also said that I will go to the forest, beg for food and all that. No. He wants to stay on the job. So that is the immediate problem. Even though he has to solve his life's problem of samsara, there's an immediate need to resolve this doubt as to whether he should fight this war or not. This is a topical or incidental problem. There is the fundamental problem. Now, Arjuna is facing an incidental problem whether to fight or not to fight this war. When I say incidental problem, because this problem is not there all the time. Now, what should I do today? I should fight some war. No, that's not it. Situation happens, you have to fight. And previously also he has fought many battles. But in those times he did not have any conflict. So this problem of fighting a war is not a universal problem. We don't have this problem every day. We may be fighting other battles, but not this kind. So that is why I say this is incidental. But there is another problem that was triggered by this incidental problem. That problem is that of attachment and sorrow. Attachment and sorrow are not incidental. They are universal, fundamental. So one is incidental, the other is fundamental. Bhagwan has to solve both the problems. To solve this problem, he takes up 3 lines of discussion. He takes a 3-pronged approach to make Arjuna fight this war. One is from the philosophical angle. The second is from ethical angle. And the third is from a worldly standpoint. So it is a 3-tier, 3-pronged approach. Philosophical, ethical, and worldly or a materialistic approach. And Krishna will emphasize that whatever be the angle, you have to fight this war. Of these 3, the main argument in Gita, of course, is the philosophical viewpoint. The other 2 approaches also support the main argument. Bhagwan gives importance to the philosophical standpoint because Arjuna already knows Dharma Shastra. Arjuna's problem was not because of ignorance of ethics. He's a learned person. He knows what is right and what is wrong. He has studied Dharma Shastra. He is moved with Lord Krishna. So his primary problem was not because of this ethics, but his problem was the ignorance of the self. So Bhagwan takes the philosophical approach. So from verses 12 to 25, we get the philosophical treatise, wherein Bhagwan talks about the true nature of Arjuna, the true nature of Bhishma and Drona. That is Atma Vidya. So the Atma Tattva is talked about first. Then he will come down to ethical and worldly consideration as well. I will touch upon certain basics so that you can understand the philosophical arguments that will be put forth. This is a very important section. Refer to it throughout Bhagavad Gita. The set of verses from verse 12 to 25. The entire Atma Vidya, self-knowledge is taught. Very important section. Please do pay attention. We will start that from next class. Okay? Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Om Namaha. Harihi Om.